So today we are presenting one of our favorite listings, the Maryland Farms or Maryland Estate. It's located in southern Belize in the district of Stan Creek, immediately south of Middlesex and at the beginning of the Valley community. Consists of 7 parcels and we'll be starting this tour right at where parcel or block 18 meets block 20. The ridge you see up ahead is a hill set right in the middle of block 20. And as we approach the top of the ridge, heading down to the bottom is the southern boundary and the end of the property. The properties you see in the center of the screen and the foreground are neighboring properties, are not included in the Maryland Estates. Here we are roughly over the southern boundary and we're looking out to block 21. Way up ahead in the foreground you'll see the Middlesex Estate, a famous farm here in Belize. We're still facing north, and now we're panning towards blocks 19 and 18, which would be beyond this ridge where you see the Cahoon palm swaying. Those are the cleared parcels or blocks. We know them as the pasture blocks. Slowly panning towards the east. Over there is the valley. Now we're panning back south. You'll see the road that runs along the property, heading there and then turning towards the west. Now we're panning again towards the south. Those properties you see in the foreground, those are the neighboring properties to the south. The road also provides access to these properties. We're gonna head west again along that southern boundary. Around here we would be over block 21, which is an 8.36 acre block. And at this point, that should be the end of block 21, and where 23 and 22 meet and start. And we're facing north along that boundary line towards the Middlesex Estate. Block 23 should be just to the left there along that tree line. We're heading southwest here, and we're just now approaching a neighboring property. You see where it's cleared? That's a neighboring property and not this one. The tree line along the right hand side, that's the southern boundary of block 23 and the southwestern block of Maryland Farms. That's looking west. You see the big mountain, that's the forest reserve, and in the middle, right in the center, you'll see a ridge. That ridge should be the end of the property and the western boundary of block 23. just beyond that ridge in the center of the screen. We're heading west now, northwest, towards that western boundary. You see the Middlesex Estate on the upper right. As we approach this last ridge, we're getting to the western boundary. We'll stop and we'll pan to the north, to the right hand side. Again, the majestic Middlesex Estate, north of Maryland Farms. We're panning down along the western boundary, and you can see how lush and thick the forest is. So we're heading back north to the northern or northwestern boundary. Right where you see it's cleared, that's the Middlesex Estate, and the river lies between the two. Between Maryland Farms and the Middlesex Estate. We're panning right again, and that's towards the east and south. You see the valley in the foreground, and the forest you see is all Maryland Farm property. We're now on the northern boundary, looking out towards the Middlesex Estate. You can see a vehicle driving there. That's where the Hummingbird Highway runs. And where you see the tree line, there's a line there to the left. That's the property's northern boundary. So on the right hand side is the property, is Maryland Estate, and we would be flying now over block 22, which is a 28.4 acre block. Panning over to see the river, where you see that the river dip into the right. That's where the property meets the river. And that's where block 19 meets block 22 and 17. And you see that clearing closer to the center. That's the beginning of the pasture blocks, block 19 and 18, with 17 towards the left. Here we're gonna dip down a little bit just to give you an idea of what the view would be like from the top of that hill. You can see the track where we drove up the hill. We're now over block 18, and we just passed over the road. This is looking north towards blocks 18 and 17. Thank you very much for joining us. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us or see more at visitabelize.com. Thank you.